lives. Okay, feel perfect. So before we get started with the presentations from the middle school and the high school, I just wanted to give a couple of quick announcements. National African American Parent Involvement Day is coming up. That's on February 13th.
Yeah,
And all parents will be invited
Look
to
it
an
up,
assembly
but
at school.
it's good for
Hey,
you.
Jennifer. How's it going? So all parents will be invited to an assembly at school on February 13th and to celebrate. And Michu, our incredible vice president, and her team have been working really hard to prepare everything. They're also preparing a couple other events throughout the month of February. So there's going to be a performance at the end of February. And we'll have tons more information on that to come. But February 13th, there's going to be one assembly for the pre-K through first graders and one for the second through fifth graders. So the times will be out very soon. And then we're also having our next major PTO fundraiser on February 14th, which is a glow run. It's like the fun run, but it's glowy and neon in the gym at school. So students will be asking for pledges from friends and family. And finally, we are going to be starting to recruit host families for our next year French teaching interns. So if you've ever, so here's, the first little hook. So if you've ever thought about doing that, get your questions ready because you will be hearing a lot about that in the upcoming couple months. But tonight we have a very special meeting. We have some guests and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves in just a minute. We have teachers from the middle school, Hidden River Middle School, and then also Central High School. We also have some students here tonight. And there are they are very dedicated teachers, and there are some very dedicated, hardworking teachers who have created this incredible French immersion program for our students in the middle school and the high school. So that's what we are going to be learning about tonight. So let's see. We have the principal. Oh, I thought we'd start with the middle school. Madame is it Vibar? I'm going to pronounce. Oh, and you're eating too. Did you?
That's all right.
Teresa
Vibar. I am the principal at Hidden River Middle School, formerly Ramsey. Super proud of our students and staff who went through the name change process and really came up with an amazing new name and look to and feel to our building. I'm snacking on nuts because my husband's upstairs making tacos for dinner as soon as this meeting's over. So I thought we were eating before, so I'm kind of hungry. And I have a teacher here for sure. I'll let Rochelle go next.
Hi, so my name is Rachel Payat-Yang and I teach French Immersion Social Studies for 6th, 7th, 8th grade at Hidden River. And this is my third year teaching at Hidden River.
Well, thank you for being here tonight. And we also have Mr. Amdal, who is here from the high school.
Hi, bonsoir tout le monde. Kevin Amdahl. I am one of 3 teachers at Central, 3 French immersion teachers at Central High School. And I'm thrilled to be here this evening to share more about our program.
Thank you so much. So let's start with the middle school. So after our students graduate from 5th grade at LNFI, the middle school, Hidden River, has an amazing program. So if you want to tell us a little bit about that, and I believe that you have a presentation to share with us as well.
I can start real quickly. Rochelle, are you going to share your screen or?
Let me see.
Okay. We didn't really plan this very well,
It's okay.
the 2 of us. So we're so used to doing
You
it.
can plan as you go. We're all like we all have children, so
Okay, can you see it?
Yes, we can, Rochelle.
Yes.
Great
Oh,
job.
yes.
Okay,
So,
let's go. So Madame Halina Solarava is not here with us this evening, but she's part of the French immersion program.
All right, I can talk a little bit about this. Parents often ask, why IB? And probably the biggest piece of it is the global perspectives. And you all have chosen French and value the international, the language and acquisition, and having a second language definitely builds international thinking, which is grounded in a global perspective. So we spend a lot of time helping students recognize perspectives and missing perspectives and broadening their perspectives to a more global perspective, as well as making sure that teachers are not the dispensers of knowledge, but are facilitating critical thinking opportunities for students to be inquirers and problem solvers and taking action in their community and in the world in general. So all of our classes at Hidden River are MYP classes, including our French immersion classes. Next.
Okay. Trying to, yeah.
So again, a little bit more about the IB. We do talk about intercultural awareness. It's a holistic education and communication skills. It's one of our approaches to the 5 approaches to learning. And clearly, when you're learning a second language, you're grounded in the aspects of communication. But we're really working to give our students a worldview education. And clearly, the world is changing and evolving daily for a whole host of reasons that we're watching in the media. And it's important that our scholars know how to hear, learn, and evaluate what they're hearing and learning about in a critical manner. At its core, we have, again, more about the inquiry and global perspective, but we're really hoping students are making connections between what they know and what they're learning from their peers and their coursework and what they're seeing as they expand their perspective. We want them to be active learners, internationally minded. We work through the learner profile, which is kind of like our character education, and our PBIS programming is grounded in it, but we really want them to be able to empathize with others. And then using the skills from their IB education, be able to have purposeful lives and find meaning in the work and their career choices. At the middle school level, there are 4 core: English, our ELA class, humanities, math, and science. In 6th grade, your 6th graders will have 5 core classes, as their writer's workshop is a whole class and their reader's workshop is a whole class. When they move into 7th and 8th grade, readers and writers is combined. So it does limit their electives in 6th grade. So for that reason, we really don't have students fill out registration forms, because there isn't a whole lot of choice for those electives in 6th grade.
That's right.
That's okay. So our non-core or our elective classes, there's a whole list there. Like I said, the 6th graders, because we're a 7-period day, students have 5 core. Those classes meet every day. Our electives meet B days. So today was an A day, right, Rochelle? Yes.
Yeah.
So classes may have had 2 electives off this list, or some students may have had their foundations class and then an elective to round out their 7-period day. But we have an expanse of electives. And Rochelle, at some point, do you talk about the immersion classes specifically?
Now, so I teach, so this year I teach Minnesota Studies for 6th grade and American Studies for 7th and 8th grades. And we've been starting working on History Day. And so next year I will be teaching Global Studies for 7th, 8th grades, and still Middle Studies for 6th grade. And one of the biggest projects for Global Studies will be for students to do Model United Nations, which is global, international. So I'm so excited about that. And we can go move to, because we
Hello.
don't check
I
all your
shared
slide
a
about that.
in order. My name is Nicole Kelly. Yeah. And then I also wanted to ask, does this hold like this phone or we don't know for sure?
I think honestly, I've had one of these before. They're
Uh-huh.
kind of weak.
Are they?
The phone is kind of heavy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
Nicole.
then I probably will.
Hey, Nicole. Can you hear me? There we go. That's Nicole, our social committee chair.
So,
I don't think she was talking to us.
so quickly, social studies, we follow the district-wide curriculum, but students learn social studies in French. And like Principal Viva talked earlier, we focus on the global perspective. We want our students to develop a higher academic language skills and really develop their critical thinking, which we're doing with History National Day. Yeah. And yes, and this year we are participating in History Day. So the first selection will be in French. So students do their project both in French and in English as they will advance to into the competition. These are a few topics and concepts that I teach in American Studies and Minnesota Studies and Global Studies. We finished with the Civil War, the US imperialism, and then we kind of work on History Day. For Minnesota Studies, we almost finished with the treaties. Then let's move back to French immersion language arts and literature. So this is Ms. Sola-Hava's class. So the objectives of the class is for students to expand their French language skills and cultural awareness through the four modes of communications by keeping with them, by increasing their intellectual maturity and social emotional development. And as you can see, there are some examples of topics and projects. And I know that Madame Sola-Hava worked on the comic contest with the 8th grade. You also have with the 6th grade, they work on the cultural identity through a family artifact cooking show. 7th grade is more focused on, the word, education in the word. We also, students also focus on gender stereotypes because we have an important student population that is LGBTQ+, and they also focus on the Francophone Black Month history and podcast. I think that is, because we do not want to take all your time. Principal Viva, do you want to add something else?
I guess I would want to know if there's anything particular that families with us this evening, what questions you have, or if we're going to do the question and answer after the high school.
If anyone has questions about the middle school program, we could ask, we could take a minute now, and then if people think, because I think of mine after. So we'll have some more time at the end as well. Bree, did you have a question?
I was wondering if there were opportunities for travel in middle school.
Prior to the pandemic, we did have a group of our 8th graders travel to a sister school in France. I am not recalling the location. It was the very first time that we had did it. So right now, I think the district has some restrictions on international travel. Don't quote me, but I don't know that we're in a place right now to set that up for our current 8th grade, but it always has been something that we want to pursue for our families. It was a small group that went the very first time. So,
And what was the length of time for that particular trip?
well, they came here November, I believe, and spent about a week. And so it's it's that 7 to 10 days time frame. And we scheduled our trip during part of the spring break.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Should add to that Andrea Platz is with us tonight, and she is a parent who has had kids at the middle school and the high school. So she could answer questions from a parent perspective too.
Yep, happy to do that.
Thanks. Hi, Andrea.
Hello.
So I just wanted to add that Madame Solrava and I, we talked about having a French DA next year. Because since the pandemic, we do not have any French TA. So yes, we are excited about that. And regarding the trip overseas, it's we cannot because of the district.
Hopefully in the next year or two that you got, feels like everything is just slowly starting to get going again. So, but those trips take a lot of time to plan too. So
Video on.
yeah.
Hi,
Hey.
I had this Laura Thielander. I had just a question just in terms of numbers coming from Letwan to, like, for example, 6th grade. How many students followed the trek in heading over to Hidden Rivers for this school year? And what are we looking at in terms of retention into the middle school program?
We have this, clearly we've used this slideshow before, and so we had some history. We reached out to the district for some more information. I think Rochelle's gonna pull up the slide. The updated information came today and we didn't have a chance to get it added to. So you can see prior to the, oh, you did, didn't you, Rochelle?
I did.
Yeah. All of a sudden, there are some dates that weren't there before. So amazing French immersion teachers at Hidden River. So you can see it's kind of a very small graph, but it's there. It's really more dependent on the numbers that are at L'Etoile du Nord. So my understanding is you're at like 2.5 5th grade classrooms, where for a few years, we had 3 5th grade classrooms that we were getting students from. So
we were actually, hello everyone, we're actually at 2 5th grade classrooms this year.
okay. So some of the numbers drop has more to do with incoming from L'Etoile du Nord than necessarily retention to the due to our programming. So
what is the percentage retention then?
that's a great question. We haven't figured that out. It's going to look different. You'd have to figure out each year and then do a summary of that. We're hoping that we get to 30 students. If you look at 6th grade coming in, we've been as high as 34, 35, we had 48. It is really dependent on now the numbers that are coming from L'Etoile du Nord, because you have now 2 sections.
If I can just chime in too, I can turn my video on.
Also, I know that my daughter, I have a daughter in high school as well as at Hidden River, and they gained starting into 9th grade. I think they gained like 4 to 5 students back from into the French program from a charter school as well. And my daughter thinks they're in the upper 20s or maybe around 30, and maybe Mr. Ondal can confirm that, but I think that's roughly where they're at. So
Yes, I can chime in and talk about the high school numbers briefly. We have 36 9th graders this year. We have 26 10th graders. And you're absolutely right. We do recoup some students that leave L'Etoile and go to a charter school and then come back to SPPS. That's absolutely right. It's usually a handful, about 5 every year that do that. And in our junior class, we have 17, and our senior class this year has 36.
Thank you. Yeah, and honestly, when you think about the numbers in 5th grade, I mean, I think they've averaged 2 to 3 classes, and Sophia, you might have more information on this in the
I can
of the
speak to this.
history.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, thank you. Currently, so we have 2 classrooms, Madame Tran and Madame Klein are 2 5th grade classroom teachers, and we started off with 28 and 28. And we're now sitting at 27 and 28. So that is the total number of 5th graders for this year. I can't speak here as I'm new to the building, but this year that's what my numbers are at. And we're trying to strengthen our retention and our partnership with the middle school in different capacities, just to make sure that we're keeping those 28 and 27 kids and then pushing them forward to Hidden River.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, 2018, 2020, and there were 48 kids that moved on, I mean, that's a pretty good percentage. That's got to be like 60, 70% or more if there were 3 classes that year. So, yeah.
I will add something that we're finding is with transportation, we have right now what we are seeing, we have about 30% of our families at L'Etoile du Nord that are out of district, which also means no busing. And therefore, what we see is because of the busing problem, we're not able to keep those families just because it's not as easy for the families to transport moving forward, right? 6th, 7th, 8th grade and on. So a lot of our families say, well, we need to be closer to the middle school. We have done the French immersion. We can't keep dropping off. So that busing is definitely something that gets in the way of retention for us, at least.
It's the same with us. I have a few students complaining about that. Moving to Central, so yeah.
The drive. And Rachel, I have not met you. Enchantée.
Yes, bonjour.
Sophia.
Rachel.
Rachel, bonjour, Rachel.
Yes, so I go by Rachel. Thank you. So yes, we have this issue with transportation, and I have my 8th graders who talked about that this week, and they want to go to Central, but the transportation is an issue, and they don't want to take the city buses. So yeah, so that's.
And I will add another component. Sorry, I just wanted to add another component because I think the retention at L'Etoile du Nord and making sure that our number is heightened is then going to feed into the pathway, of course, right? So one thing that we're seeing is, like I said, we have about 30% of families that are out of district, and they're having a hard time with the busing and or the drop off. And then the other thing that has been brought forward is the start time for us. Our start time is later, and that could be difficult. And the other piece, and this is not something that I think has been talked about much, but we do have the pre-K program, which I know Central is kind of like, well, why are we talking about 4-year-olds? But what happens a lot of the times, we have a lot of interested families and they're out of district yet again. And because they're not able to make it into the pre-K program, they choose then not to have the rest of their kids enrolled. And with that, we lose a lot of children. So the pre-K programming being so difficult to get into then has a domino effect of why we don't gain those students that really want the French immersion and the pathways experience, but they choose not to, or not choose to, they're just not able to because they have a 4-year-old that can't go there, but then they have a 5 and a 6-year-old that can. So it's just difficult with drop off. So that is something that I think has room for growth.
Thank you, Madam Bosa.
Can I ask a question about out of district students too? Because we are out of district, and I'm just wondering, is like, I don't really know what to expect. Are there out of district students that can come to like middle school and like are generally able to follow the pathway, or like, I guess, what are the numbers for that?
Honestly, I don't know who's out of district and who's in district. Typically, because you're in a specialized program, you're insured a spot at Hidden River.
Oh, okay.
You just won't have the transportation because you're out of district. So,
Sure. Okay, thank you. That's very helpful, actually.
Once you're in, you're in.
Malia, there definitely are students who are out of district in both middle school and high school, for sure.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes, I was just going to chime in to second that. I have students from Minneapolis and students from Maplewood in my classes.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I'll just say, many of you have maybe heard me say this before, but one of the things that I find so wonderful about the whole pathway is that both of my kids have never was an unexpected benefit, is neither of my kids had any worry about starting middle school or high school, because in each situation they had, whether it was 34 or 25 or whatever, they had this group of kids that they got to start middle school with and that they've known since kindergarten. And so it's just been, even if they're not best friends with all of them, they have this lovely little nest of familiar faces. And it's made the transition both to middle school and from middle school to high school so much easier. My 16-year-old is nodding her head at that right now. So yes.
And I will say kudos to Madame Tran and Madame Klein, and I see Madame Tran is in here, so maybe she can talk a little bit about this, but they put in a lot of work into, and I'm sure the 6th grade team as well. Teresa, I see you nodding your head, right? I'm sure your 6th grade team as well, but I know my teachers are great. So they really do put a lot of work into that transition. So that's
And I will clarify, just because I had a question in the chat, that transportation is provided for in-district families. So that just stays the same. That's normal. So when we're talking about the transportation, it's for people who open enroll into L'Étoile du Nord or into the district. They have to provide their own transport, or I should say we, because I live way out in we provide our own transportation, but there are options.
Not for Central anymore. Central now they get a Metro Transit bus card.
Okay. Thank you, Andrea.
for the elementary, like I said, we're 30% out of district currently, and it seems like the data continues with prospective families. And those 30% have 2 options. They can transport or they can drop off at the nearest bus stop.
Or you could recruit your neighbor and then carpool together, you know?
I had a really smart answer too, but I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Okay. Oh. Are there any other questions about the middle school program or comments?
This is kind of silly, but we're talking about transportation. Do any kids bike to Hidden River?
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
We had to add another, our PTO or our FSO, Family Staff Organization, had to purchase another whole section because we ran out of the little loops for them to lock their bikes to. So almost the whole side of Cambridge in the spring and fall is bikes. And there's still a couple that every now and then you'll see a bike locked up to it. So yes.
How does the shadowing work?
Well, I can talk about that. Families should go to our website, and under the family drop-down menu, you'll see tours and shadowing. And you fill out a Google form, and I manage the tours and our counselors manage the shadowing. So if you fill out that form, our counselors work to set up a shadow from 8:30 in the morning till 10:30, and you actually get paired with a French immersion student. So you shadow them, and as part of the routine, they give you a tour of the building and answer your questions, and then you're able to connect with your parents back in the main office around 10:30.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And we have orchestra. We have a wonderful orchestra teacher.
Well, Lori's kids, as you can hear too, are really good. So you do have orchestra at the middle school.
Yes,
that's incredible. Awesome.
I wanted to let everybody know Madame Tran wanted to speak, but her mic is not working. So she is here, and yep, it's just not working for her.
Would you like to hear about Central now, Rebecca? Is it my turn to talk?
Sure. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to keep up with the questions in the chat.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Are there
Yes.
more
No, that's perfect. We would love to hear about the program at Central.
Okay. Wonderful.
And if anyone has any other questions, we'll save them till the end, and we're going to have some extra time to talk about that too. So, all right.
Okay.
Take that to the next level. You know,
Okay, I'm going to just share my screen.
what Justin Jefferson does and how he is. He's got a lot of football for, all those different things. So, yeah.
We've got orchestra, we've got sports. We're just getting a little lots of culture here tonight.
I'm gonna bring Matisse down so you can have some baby cry as well.
Okay, there we go. I was having the same problem as Madame Tran, I think, unmuting my mic. Okay.
Yeah.
But you all can see my screen, hopefully. Okay, wonderful. Well, hello again, everybody. My name is Kevin Amdahl, and I teach French immersion at Central High School. And I'd like to begin just by thanking everybody, the PTO and all the teachers from LNFI that are here and everybody involved, and Madame Vibert and Madame Paya and everybody from Hidden River. It's really great the work that you do. You do great foundational work, and the students at Central are really given the great tools to succeed, thanks in large part to the work that they do at the early levels with you. So, grand merci. This is my 10th year at Central, and I've consistently been impressed with the caliber of students that come through the pathway. And I want to add that not only am I a teacher, I'm also a parent now of an LNFI student. My daughter is in kindergarten in Madame Stevenson's class, and we're just thrilled with her experience so far. And our hope is that she'll continue on the pathway to Hidden River and then eventually to Central. So this evening, there are a few Central students on the call, and they will share a little bit about their experiences with French immersion and about just Central in general to give any parents on the call kind of a feel for what your student can anticipate later on. Okay. Next, here we are. So I have two amazing colleagues, Amélie Peltier and Stéphane Michaud. Madame Peltier, she's been a tireless advocate for French immersion and French education in Minnesota for 39 years. And she was really instrumental in bringing French immersion to the senior high level. Mr. Michaud, he joined us last year, and he is from Quebec. And he enthusiastically begun teaching French immersion 11 this year, and we are just thrilled to have him on our team. So we have a full program developed. So next I'll outline some of the components of the French immersion program at Central. And so it all began in 2013. And it was really thanks to the work of Maureen Peltier. I was just getting started at the time with my work as a teacher at Central. And so we saw an impetus to just a need for this K-12 pathway to be recognized and really celebrated. And so this program called the SPPS French Dual Language Immersion Certificate of Accomplishment encompasses the many facets of our program. So our certificate program explores language and culture at a higher, more rigorous level than your traditional language course. And it focuses on international awareness and the appreciation of cultural diversity and proficiency in French, all within the framework of the International Baccalaureate program. The French Dual Language Certificate of Accomplishment is noted on the listing of honors when your student graduates. About the DELF in a second. So when French immersion students begin their studies of French at Central, they're in the International Baccalaureate program. So it's a continuation of the work that they do at Hidden River with the Middle Years program. The Middle Years program continues at Central for 9th and 10th grade. And students begin working towards the Certificate of Accomplishment in the IB program. Starting in 11th grade, French immersion students begin preparing for the IB Language A exams. And so Language A is your first language as opposed to Language B, which is the language that you learn. So thanks to the great work at LNFI, Hidden River, we've been able to have our students pass the Language A level test. And this gives them a bilingual IB diploma. So that is something that is really cool and that we are very, very proud of. Okay.
And if I'm not wrong, I think that a very large percentage of your students pass the DELF and
Yes.
and earn that, don't they? It's like very high. Most all of them.
Yes. So I was going to talk about that on this next slide here.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So some other aspects of the program involve the DELF, and this is the Diplôme d'études en langue française. And we offer it every year in December, and then at the end of the year for sure in December, and then as needed in the springtime. This is the B2 level is the level students need to attain where French is the primary language of instruction. And so that is something that we've been offering for 5 years now. And yeah, traditionally, you're absolutely right, Rebecca, we've had a tremendous level of success on it. Traditionally, about 75% of our students have passed it. So that is very, very good. We're extremely proud of the work that they are doing. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the Seal of Biliteracy. And so this is awarded to students who demonstrate intermediate, advanced, or superior level of language, and they receive college credits at the Minnesota State Colleges and Universities for attaining this level. And so all French immersion students, you know, I mean, they are for sure, if they go to the MnSCU school, will get credit for the work that they put in elementary, middle, and high school, because they are for sure at the advanced or even superior level. The next thing I'd like to talk about is a very fun event called À vous la parole. It takes place at the University of Minnesota in the spring, and it's really a celebration of music and theater and poetry, and it's really a speaking competition, but it's like it's not really a competition per se. It's more just a celebration, getting together, performing something publicly for one's peers and other French teachers, and then they give awards out at the end of it. It's really one of my favorite field trips that we do. It takes place at Kaufman Union at the U. And that is starting up again this year after a couple-year hiatus, like so many other things. In the lower left-hand quadrant, we have the Institution Sainte-Marie. That is our sister school in Caen, Normandy. That is where we travel every spring with them. We are traveling this year. We were able to obtain district authorization to travel by going through a travel agency. So we are partnering with Language and Friendship, and we're doing a trip over our spring break. And we do this every year. We hope to start doing it again every year. And I've co-led this trip 5 times, and I look forward to experiencing it with students again once my children are a little bit older. But we go to Normandy, and then we also go to Paris, and we do this in the spring over our spring break. And the students from the Institution Sainte-Marie in Caen, Normandy, visit us in the fall. So we're thrilled that this is happening again. Next, the Amity program. We have an Amity intern with us every year from a French-speaking country. This year, we are thrilled to welcome Omar from Senegal with us. It's always great to have someone from French-speaking country to interact with the students, share their culture, and help the teachers out, to teach lessons, to engage with students. We do déjeuner avec l'interne. We're calling it déjeuner avec Omar, lunch with Omar. So students have the opportunity to have lunch with him and practice their French. And then lastly, le Grand Concours, the National French Test, is a fun way for students to test their level of French against other students in Minnesota and throughout the United States. And then awards are given to students that succeed on this test. This slide here is just some of our kind of belief statements. It's what we believe, why we believe it's so important learning a language, being in the French immersion program. So we believe in a lifetime of increased opportunities, like more job opportunities, chances of promotions, more flexibility with the different jobs that you take. We believe you'll be a more empowered person as an agent in your own life, better educated, able to live and work in a more diverse setting. We believe you'll be more marketable, having that little extra, speaking French, having gone to through an immersion pathway is not what you see in a typical candidate. We believe you lead a more examined life with critical thinking and reasoning skills, being a positive change for others. We have community service components in our certificate of accomplishment. having future opportunities and ways that you may not consider now is always something to keep in the back of your mind. You never know what opportunities are going to present themselves. One of my best friends in college studied art. Now he works for, a French tech firm in Nantes, so you just never know. And then lastly, I think you really have a strong sense of pride in self, right? This is a highly unique program that we have from LNFI, Hidden River to Central. This is something that we can really, really be proud of. This is not seen many places in the United States, if at all. I have never talked to another teacher that has something quite as unique as this. And when I see what students are doing, what they're exiting our program with, it's really phenomenal. They're doing beyond college level work in some cases. And it's really thanks to LNFI, Hidden River, and the work that we're doing here at Central, and parents, families, PTO. Like, really, this is a big support network that we have, and we are so thankful for this opportunity to teach these amazing students. And I'm hoping that you can hear from a couple of them this evening. So if you are still on the call, Caroline, and I think I saw Naya pop in. If you're here, would you mind introducing yourself briefly and just talking about your experience with French immersion and Central High School?
Yeah, so my name's Naya. I'm an 11th grader at Central right now. And I went to Twin Cities Academy for middle school, and now I'm at Central. And just like the main thing I really like about the French program is that you really get immersed in like a different language, which I think is cool. And like I went to France in 5th grade, and just getting immersed in like a different culture is really cool. And like it's like the best feeling in the world to be able to understand a different language in a different country. And Central is also a great opportunity for that, because without Central, like you couldn't keep learning the language. And so yeah, I think that Central is a great option for high schoolers, especially in the French immersion program.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and I'm also an 11th grader at Central. And one of the things that the French program has really that I really love about it is just the incredible opportunities that it provides. Like, for example, the opportunities and connections through the French exchange program, like having all of the French, the kids from I don't know the name, but the school in France that they came here. I hosted a student, and just having that connection with her was really special, as because I wouldn't have never had that experience if I wasn't in the French program. And also with interns staying, like when I was at L'Étoile du Nord, having the adult intern stay with me was also a really cool experience, because I have connections with them for the rest of my life. Like, we still talk to them all the time, and and that was 10 or 7 years ago. So I don't know. And the thing I like about Central is just the opportunities that it gives. There's so many opportunities, but in even more than just the French.
My name is Kiernan. I'm a junior too. I really like the opportunities that French immersion opens up. I'm looking at going to college in France. And I also really like the opportunities that Central gives in general. I'm a full IB student, which means I'm taking a full load of international baccalaureate classes. And Central also offers a wide array of extracurriculars along with their fancy classes.
Okay, thank you so much, Naya, Caroline, and Kiernan. Thank you. Okay, that's it. Are there any questions for me or our Central students? Okay.
Wait, so I have a question. We hosted an intern at 2 years ago or something for when our kids were in LNFI. And then does the intern program continue through middle school and in high school, or does it drop out in middle school and then continue in high school? Or where are there interns and where are there not interns? That is my question.
I'll speak to Central. We have had an intern from a French-speaking country every year that I've been at Central, which is 10 years, except for during the pandemic. So we had a 2-year gap. But we have interns. They're usually a recent college grad, or sometimes someone with a master's degree who comes and is interested in either teaching French or teaching English. They want to get into education in some capacity, and they want to be here and get immersed in the culture and learn their language and improve English. And so in my experience at the high school level, we have always had at least one intern.
Of interception there. He still, finds a way, especially against us.
I don't know if Rochelle is still here or not, but
I'm here.
Oh, yes, you are. There you are.
So this is my third year teaching at Hidden River, but we haven't had any intern so far. I don't know, Principal Viva, have we had an intern past years before I arrived?
No, we have not. For the first couple of years that I was at Hidden River, formerly Ramsey, enrollment was lower. And there were a lot of things that we were working on to improve at Hidden River. So as the program has grown, we were, I know, talking about it, and then the pandemic hit. And so again, like many things, we're trying to get back into it. And I know we support it. It sometimes becomes the funding.
Yes, Madame Solravine, we've been talking about that, and we hope to have an intern for next year.
So
exciting. And I think just from working with the intern committee a bit at L'Etoile, I think it does take a lot of work to get it started, and then after that it seems like it kind of can get going. So it'll be really exciting, and hopefully if we can support you guys in any way, hopefully we can work together.
Yeah, we have 6 interns currently, and that's usually the number that we have. Again, with the pandemic, just like everybody else, we were not able to do that. And to echo what Rebecca was saying, it's a lot of work, and there is a reason why we have a committee on it. We have Madame Hanley on there that puts in a lot of work as well. She's not here today, and Madame Tran, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of people right now, but it does take a committee to support with this. And had it not been for PTO, I don't think that, and our very dedicated teachers, I don't think we can keep this going, because I will tell you, as a building principal, you cannot do this job alone. It is a job of its own. So we're really fortunate to have the support that we do.
Thank you, Sophia. Just a reminder to mute if you're not speaking. And Erica, you have a question.
Okay, thank you. I have a question for, I guess this could be for the faculty and the students. Has any of the students gone to any of the African French speaking countries or the islands? And do they get at the high school level, and do they get folks from all other French speaking countries?
Yeah, I can speak to where our current intern is from Senegal, and he's great to have and share his experiences. We have not taken students to Guadeloupe or Martinique or anything like that yet. However, that sounds amazing. This time of year, especially to go to the Caribbean. But the French-speaking world is definitely something that we make a pointed effort to teach in our courses. I'm just looking at my desk right now, and this is a book that I teach called Contes et légendes du monde francophone, Tales and Legends from the French-speaking world. And I have taught for a couple of years now a series from a woman in La Côte d'Ivoire. Her name is Marguerite Aboué. And so we do get the French-speaking world voices in our classrooms at the high school level, and I'm sure at Hidden River and LNFI as well.
But Mr. Amjad, I think that you used to have someone from Guadeloupe, like several years ago when my daughter was with Madame Pelletier that time.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yes, thank you for reminding me, Shani. Shani, yes, from Guadeloupe, and she is now an English teacher in France. I know that Madame Pelletier stays in close contact with her, and when we go to France, we have met up with Sawani on a couple of occasions. Thank you for reminding me about that.
Good day.
Erica, did you have another question? Oh, okay. Hey, Fidel, how are you doing tonight?
Good, good, good. How about you?
I'm well. Did you have a question?
No, not at
Okay.
this time. Thank you,
Good to
Rebecca.
see you.
Yeah, well,
We had a question in the chat. Could students talk further about their extracurriculars?
Yeah, I can. I am in different various sports at Central, and also like in regards to French, there's a lot of opportunities. Like you can join the French club, and there is that's a really good space for the French kids to connect more. But then just within the school, there's like tons of clubs you can join, and then sports is a big one for me.
Has any of the students spent a year where they've done school at a high school in any of the French-speaking nations?
I have not had any students who have taken a year and have studied abroad in a French-speaking country. I have heard of students having a study abroad experience for a semester. Most recently, a student came to visit. She graduated in 2021, and in her time at Central, she did a semester in Portugal. I know. And a student a couple of years ago applied to do a semester in Germany that I know, but I don't have a lot of experience with students that have taken a semester or an entire year abroad, though I'm sure it has happened. I'm just not aware of that.
Mm.
And it is possible, though. That's maybe the key takeaway, is that it is possible, something that you can do, and then you can go and study abroad in another country, and then return to Central. That is a possibility.
Yeah, I know that like you should be able to link up with like the Junior Peace Corps and then do some work that way. I just was wondering, had any of the students done it there?
Yeah, not in my experience.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Monsieur or Madame Morales, did you have a question?
Do any of the
Or Mademoiselle? Go ahead.
She's wondering if any of the kids in either middle school or high school learn a third language. Like, does anyone learn like Spanish or anything?
I learned Arabic over the summer, obviously not fluently or anything, but there was a program between Concordia and StarTalk that offered, I think, 4 different languages that you could learn for free. So I did a 2-week program in person at a hotel in Minneapolis, where we went on a field trip to a restaurant, and we went to visit a professor of Arabic at the U of M, and we did all sorts of really fun things while also learning Arabic. And then we had about 6 months of online learning every week after that, with Zoom meetings. And so I'm far from fluent in Arabic, but I know some phrases now. And I think French definitely helped with being able to pronounce sounds that we don't have in English, and just wiring your brain to learn languages.
Thank you.
I can also speak to students at the high school level learning more than one language. The answer is yes, absolutely. Students have the opportunity to take many electives at Central, and some students, they take auto tech or music production or art or whatever, and some students, they take their French immersion class and then they learn Spanish or Chinese or take Latin. We offer 6 languages at Central. We're a very special school in the district in that regard. We have French, Spanish, German, Chinese, Latin, and Russian. The only program in the state to offer Russian. So.
Did you say you all offer Latin?
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
We offer one of the only school in, I believe the only school in SPPS that offers Latin, I believe.
I don't know of any schools in California that offer Latin, or New York. So I'm like, you guys are pretty much in a realm of your own right there.
Yeah, no,
I guess
truly.
you could say that's kind of a pre-med thing too.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's Latin. We have a phenomenal teacher. His name is Rick Lay, and he's been here for 12 years, and he is a great teacher. And yeah, it's great for increasing your vocabulary. Yeah, for going into the medical field, for learning other Romance languages. It's tremendous. More schools should offer it.
Yeah. Especially since we have a shortage of doctors, which is only going to get worse.
It's so cool to hear about these opportunities. It's like we're building the foundation at LNFI, and you guys are just a cherry on top. More than just a cherry on top, though. So Lori has a comment from her, one of her children has graduated from Central, and has a comment that they want to share.
Hi, I just wanted, we had our daughter just finished last year in the French immersion program, and she and her colleague, who is also a Frenchie, Charlotte, they both are taking junior level college French. They are jumped ahead of the freshmen and sophomores. And so they're doing really well. They did the IB program. So just what Mr. Amdahl is saying, they get a really solid background. It's just amazing. And their ability to write and express themselves when they take 12 classes, correct? They take 12 classes over the course of high school. So it's been fun to see the success come after they finished. And also the music programs are amazing at Central. People haven't mentioned that, but the orchestra and the choirs and all that. So that's all. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Lori, for that comment. It's good to hear that Simone is doing well. Just to add on to the tremendous extracurricular opportunities. When I showed up at Central this evening for this meeting, the parking lot was completely full. I wasn't sure I was going to find a spot because we have a great choir concert that started 8 minutes ago here. So I think I'll check that out afterwards.
Oh, and Kieran says the theater program at Central is also really great.
I felt the need to shout it out. I was a
Oh, go
lead
ahead.
for paint crew this year. And it holds a very special place in my heart. Ms. Skill's motto is that we don't do high school theater, we do professional theater or good theater, that's it. And I think a lot of people would agree. This year we put on one of our biggest shows ever. And we had a full house all 3 nights. So.
That's so cool. Congratulations. It's really special to have those experiences. And I mean, not only to learn the skill, but to build confidence and to meet friends and build relationships.
So I will add that music and band are a priority at Hidden River, and we have been able to add theater in our after school programming, and we usually do it every spring. So we've accomplished 2 productions. We did Wizard of Oz and we did The Lion King the musical. Creatively enough, it's been school nurses leading our theater program. So we're looking forward to another production this spring.
Is there anything a school nurse cannot do?
We actually have a school nurse that it's her second career. She was a literacy coach in the district. So our students are reading when they're in the nurse's office.
Wow, that's amazing. All right. Do we have any other questions or comments? So when you start, you have like a homeroom, right? So do you have French immersion students in the homeroom and then you kind of branch out from there? Is that?
Are you asking middle school?
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I think, right?
So our 6th and 7th grade have a foundations as one of their A or B day electives. And so we do pair them with either of our French immersion teachers. In 8th grade, they no longer have a French teacher as their foundations, and they're really mixed well with the rest of the 8th graders across the building.
That's so nice to know they can have that kind of core group, but then they also have the opportunity to meet lots of other students too. Yeah.
It's the same at the high school level. We have immersion 9, 10, 11, 12. They're in what we call advisory. They're together, and it's a time to reconnect. And we also do a lot of French immersion business in those courses. It starts to splinter a little bit because with students like Kieran mentioned earlier, they're in the IB program. And so later on, junior and senior years, students sometimes are pulled into other advisories, but we do our best to keep them together in advisory class.
Thank you. I'm wondering too, if maybe the students could talk about maybe their favorite French immersion class at the high school, or favorite French immersion project that they've worked on. Obviously, Mr. Amdal's class, but
Bien évidemment.
My favorite was the French writing elective, because I really felt like I improved my writing and it was really beneficial for me.
I really liked all of the reading that we did in Monsieur Amdal's class. I don't know, I hadn't really enjoyed the books that we read in middle school with one of our previous teachers, but I really, really liked some of the books he picked out, and it kind of reignited a love of French for me.
Thank you. It's cool to think that our kids will be able to be just reading novels in French, you know?
Mr. Amdo, I have a question for you. Do they still do the advanced French classes like in seniors where they do like World War II history in France and some of those of France and other really advanced classes like that?
Yes, they do. So students in the French immersion program at Central typically take 2 courses every year. The one class is their foundations class, their French immersion language class. And then they also take a French immersion elective, which is 1 semester long. And those courses are a part of the dual language certificate of accomplishment. And you're absolutely right. At the higher level, those courses are history courses, or they're film courses. So the 4 that we offer currently are France during the Second World War, Francophone cinema, Tour de France, and La Francophonie. And so those 4 classes are on a rotating schedule. So 2 are offered this year, and then next year 2 other courses will be offered, so that when students are in their junior and senior years, there will always be a new class for them to take. And those classes have been taught traditionally by Maureen Pelletier, and she is retiring this year. And so we will see who is going to take on some of those courses next year. Monsieur Michaud and me will have to figure all of that out, but we are thrilled at the challenge to teach really college level, like social studies, history courses in the target language, in French. It's really amazing what students are able to do with the language. And it's thanks to the pathway, LNFI, Hidden River, and then they come to us with great foundation, and we're able to do these amazing things. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. It's incredible to France and enroll as a native French speaker. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, I know when I studied in France, I was in a college, but I was taking French language classes. You know, just having gone through a traditional program. So anyway, that's amazing. I mean, that's a high level of rigor to be able to do that.
It is. Sorry.
No, I was wondering, do the students get dual citizenship? Is that what they do when they go over there and study, or do they just go as a study visa?
Yeah, on a student visa.
Okay.
And so they take this test at the end of high school, and they can pass it at a certain level. Then that means they have a diploma, or their degree or their diploma from high school is a dual language diploma, as if they were a native French speaker and a native English speaker both. So they can take that and apply to, did I explain that correctly?
Yes,
That
exactly.
and apply to French colleges and universities and just go to French college as if they were a native French speaker.
Yeah, that's what the DELF and the IB Language A exams offer students. It's an internationally recognized exam, internationally recognized certificate of their proficiency level. And so it's what they can take and put on their resume and use when they apply to schools, when they apply to jobs. It's a very official recognition of their level. It's
you said
similar
that was an
to,
IB and IA. Okay.
Yeah. So the 2 exams that are the exams that 11th and 12th graders take that attest their level, their proficiency level. One is called the DELF. That's the Diplôme en langue française. And the second is a part of the IB program. And the IB exams take place in the diploma program take place in 11th and 12th grade. And French immersion 11th graders begin taking French immersion language A. So language A meaning they're prepping for a test that other French students, other French first language students in Quebec or Paris or Dakar or wherever are taking the same test. They write the same paper. And so the results of those tests give students, if they pass, give them a bilingual diploma.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
It is. It is. I like that.
Do you have lots of students who do go up north for college in like Montreal or you know, even I don't know, due north of us and make use of French colleges?
Yes, I know of a few students who have gone to Saint Boniface in Winnipeg. Yeah, I've actually never been there. I want to take a trip up there to see what that school is all about. But yeah, there's a little French quarter in Winnipeg, and Saint Boniface is a school that I know a couple students have gone to. A student recently came back to visit from McGill in Montreal. And so I know students like to go there as well.
Did you hear good things about the Saint Boniface?
Saint Boniface. Yes, yeah, I did. I heard that it's kind of like an international experience, but it's really not too far away. It's still drivable, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We had someone from Saint Boniface. Well, this is probably 5 or 6 years ago. Come and visit us and kind of try to recruit some students from St. Paul to go up there for college. And I think it's a great opportunity.
It's a little cheaper than some of the American colleges. So we noticed.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions or comments? Thank you so much to everyone who came tonight. Thank you so much to the middle school teachers and principal and high school teachers and all the students. It was so great to hear about the program. So it's just really inspiring to hear about the pathway after LNFI and what the kids can accomplish. And so we're just so grateful to have the opportunity to talk to you and for you to share about everything. And if anyone thinks of any other questions or that they might have, I'm sure we can reach out to you, or you could send your questions to me, and I'll connect you guys up after this meeting. But just a huge thank you for you staying after school to talk to us and answer our questions. So we really appreciate it. Oh, and Vibar says that the Hidden River Middle School open house is January 26th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. So that would be a great opportunity to visit, meet the teachers in person, ask any more questions that you might have. Sounds wonderful.
And I just dropped something in the chat for everyone. Something we've discovered is that, and this came out of the Ambassador of France visit, we worked on making sure that we are seen as a pre-K 12 program versus L'Etoile du Nord French immersion, and then the middle school, and then Central. And something that came out of that work was the brochure that I put in the chat. So this is for families if you'd like to take a look at it. It's really interesting. It talks about the bilingual seals and just kind of the Minnesota World Language certificates and what that means. And it shows what the pathway really accomplishes in terms of the seals. And then if you look at what's really interesting, the second part of it, it says total 466 students in total have received an award in French. So that's from 2015 until 2022. And about 25% of those students qualified for a French award. So if you look at the data at the very bottom, that second page, I think you might be surprised in a good way. And then also look at that first page, it really spells out the immersion component for pre-K 5, 6, 8, and then 9, 12, and the flow of the dual language immersion programs. So I thought people might be interested in looking at that as well. If you have any questions, I can stay on as well.
Thank you, Madame Bossard. Okay. I think we're about ready to wrap up. If you are a L'Etoile du Nord parent or family and you're here tonight, stick around because we have a quick vote for a board position onto the PTO executive board that we're going to do really quick. But otherwise, just as a huge thank you to everyone else who attended tonight and shared all your information and your expertise. We really appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
Merci.
Yes.
Thank you.
Merci.
you.
Bonne
Yeah,
soirée.
another camera finally.
Okay. I love that meeting. I love hearing about the pathway. It's so inspiring to me.
It is. And now it's making me think because like a good amount of my family from this in New Orleans, they have like dual citizenship. And now I'm wondering if they give like scholarships, because I know like beside her, I know for my son he would qualify, but beside that's a little different, but I wonder if they have like scholarships for like basically the African countries that were like colonized, because then she could follow under that. But I know like for her, as far as like because of the Creole thing, I don't know if the percentage is high enough for her.
Oh,
I
right.
think that's
I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean something definitely worth looking into. There's so many opportunities out there. And mostly I just want to snuggle my kids and read to them little stories. But I accept that they will go to college someday. Well,
you are like me.
Correct.
Well,
You don't
I'm
want me
the
in
same
here?
way.
What?
I am the same way.
Yeah.
Just like you. Yes.
Oh,
We have
did you?
to learn to
You
let
don't
go.
want me on here, do you?
Oh, it's up to you. If you want to.
I'm gonna
Yes,
step
go.
away. And
Madam Baza, I want to say good job. Good job. I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank
like
you.
my
so
dancing.
Yes.
Wait, were you dancing?
Oh
was
yeah, I
dancing.
have pictures. I have pictures.
There's proof.
Okay. I can do Bulgarian dances, but I am not very coordinated. So when someone's teaching me choreography that I'm not good at, it's disastrous. But thank you, Mom. So it was fun. I'm gonna continue coming to practice. I
Yes.
just realized it's gonna look really horrible if I'm just standing there like this
Yeah.
or having our assembly. And here goes the boring principal in the corner. So I don't want to be a boring principal. So I'm gonna keep on learning.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I
And
think Madame Bassard is gonna have a TikTok moment.
Not good. Okay.
Bye.
Madame
Au
Bossard.
revoir.
Merci. Au revoir.
Merci.
Bye.
Okay, if you are still here, we have an open board position, our fundraising chair, and we have Erica Scott, who is here tonight. And she is interested in that position. We sent out she filled out a bio with her picture, so we sent that out in backpacks, and it's on our website. So Erica, do you wanna introduce yourself really quick and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Erica Scott, which actually that's gonna change to Ngwoe. I just have not, my licensures, my professional licensures and all of that, I want to kind of wait a little bit until they get to where they're up before I change them over and change over my last name. So gonna do that, but I am the mother of Besai.
Hello, Besai. Hello, Sunshine.
And I, so with fundraising and with background with that, I've actually done like work in the community since I was actually about her age. Actually, my mother operated under the premise of you have to give back to your community. And so I've always done stuff, various things in the community. I think my main thing with working on the board for LNFI is that I'm excited to get LNFI out there. But mainly I want to kind of assist in the sense of, I don't want there to be a third, fourth grade combination class again. You know, I want our, my desire is for our enrollment to go up. But that very experience that they shared tonight, that's what I'd like to see for a lot of people. That is why I have my daughter there. But when I think of like the benefits for my daughter, I don't just think about it for her. I think about the entire community and them, if they would love to have that experience, for it to be there for them and for us to be able to help them and usher that in, because you're only going to have children who can actually go out from outside of the United States and will be able to function, and not only function, but thrive in under any premise, you know, and then the benefits, how the programs that they have at the high schools and things, it's just exciting. So you don't have to, it's one of those things where I don't have to spin it or do anything like that. It is good, and I think more people should have access to it.
Thank you so much, Erica. It'll be wonderful having you on the board, and we're going to hold a quick vote. So it'll work just like the other meetings if you've been in attendance this year so far. Malia, well, there will be a screen that pops up, and you can vote yes if you would like to confirm Erica onto the board, or no, or you can abstain. I believe it takes about 1 minute and then the results will pop up. So Malia, she's ready to go. All right. Oh, make sure you vote quickly, because you have to put your answer in right away.
Oh.
Wee, ow.
Oh, wait, but son, let mommy turn off the.
What's in here?
Then while we wait, we just chat. No. Next month we'll be meeting on February 9th, Thursday, February 9th, and we'll be back to our normal time, 8 p.m. Erica, you have been unanimously confirmed.
Oh, yay!
100%. Yay. Welcome to the executive board. 100%.
Thank
so
you.
happy to have you. I know that I'm really excited to partner with you working on fundraising, and not just fundraising though, just to have you as a colleague on the board. So thank you so much. And thank you to everyone.
Welcome, Erica.
What?
Thank you, Madam Chofu.
Thank you, Madam Chofu, for teaching
Yes,
us
honey.
math. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for stepping up to this position.
Oh,
you so
no
much.
problem. You know what? It's like, I just want everybody, like, I think the other parents are just not aware of how much of a treasure LNFI is. I think we'd have more parents on the board, but also the threat that you could lose something, it's, and to pay for it, yeah, that would be a lot, of money.
Right.
The programs.
A lot of benefits for free.
Yeah, that would match it. Yeah.
And Erica, I just want to tell you, I try to put bring parent on board. So I have one parent who would like to apply for the fund chair. So you're gonna welcome her maybe next week. I don't know. So
for
That'd be
social.
amazing. We'll have a...
Yes. She's so
I thought
supposed
the
to
social
apply
was
to...
already done.
Oh, it is. I think she was thinking about to be a fundraising co-chair.
Co-chair.
So it'll be someone else to work with you.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The more the merrier, especially with
Yes.
fundraising.
Yes.
And thank you for the snack too. Thank you, PTO. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, team. Yes, they ate a lot. They ate they half of the snack. Like, we are hungry, we want to eat. I have a lot of pictures. I think at the end, we need to put those pictures on Facebook. It's really good. With Madam Sophia dancing. Oh my gosh, it was so cool.
That's what I said. I have to see that.
And he has a lot of parents helping. It was great. It was great. It made my day. Yeah, it made my day.
Thank you for facilitating that and making it happen. It sounds amazing. I can't wait to see the performance. So thank you for everyone who came tonight, and we'll see everyone next month, February 9th, 8 p.m.
Yes.
Have a good night.
Good night. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
Bonne soirée.
Bye.